Sean,
All right, so good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Central New Jersey Relaxed Teams Huddle Group. It's August 10th. We are recording, we are live streaming. If you don't want to be recorded or put out there into the internets, this is your opportunity to leave. The terms and services are on the website. All right. So the typical playbook, the agenda for today is we'll go through and have some testimonials or shout outs. Don is our featured speaker. Correct, Don?
that's correct.
Okay. Boy, that pause there for a moment was like, oh my
Sorry,
gosh. All right.
sorry.
So good. So Don's going to be our featured speaker. Tell us all about himself and what he's doing for about 10 minutes. Then we'll go around the virtual room, give everybody your 45 seconds. If any guests come up, they'll get their chance. Do a little bit of team business, and then some of the net weaving that we've got with the question 4. And if you need to leave early, no worries. Good morning, Wendy. All right, so next up is today's featured speaker is going to be Don. So Don, if you'd like to get ready, do you need to share the screen, or you're just going to be talking?
Paul, I'm going to try to talk to you, that's all.
Okay. All right. Well, take it away.
Uh, Sean, were you trying to say something?
Paul, shout outs is first before.
Oh, shout outs, right, shout outs.
Oh, shout outs. Ooh, fired. All right. Any shout outs this morning? I know there's a few of them, a couple of them.
Yeah, I have one. I have a shout out for Desiree. Want to thank her for a referral. Chris and I are working together. So yeah, thank you so much.
That's great. I'm glad it worked out, Maggie.
Thank you.
I have one.
George.
Yeah, I've got a shout out. Unfortunately, he's not here today, but for Lance Dunn with Keller Williams, I have had the opportunity to speak to a number of his clients, ones that he's referred me to, and they speak really highly of him. They love him. Whatever he's doing a great job at it.
All right. Well, thank you for that. Anybody else? Okay. All right. Then now we'll let it go over to you, Don. Live in the studio. Back to you, Don.
There you go. All right. Well, thanks, Paul. I appreciate that. As hopefully most of you guys know, I am in the insurance business mostly. I do some other things too, but the insurance is something I've been doing for the last 40 years, long time. And insurance, for the most part, is basically leveraging your bet. If you think of it that way, the easiest way is in the life insurance side. When you buy a life insurance policy, you're betting you're going to die. Insurance companies betting you're going to live because they only pay if you die. So just like the odds in a horse race, the risk or the odds of you dying, as the odds go up, the cost goes up. So the closer we get to death, we're all going to die. The closer we get to death, the more expensive it gets. And managing the risk can reduce the cost. Now with life insurance, it's a little tough, but most of the insurance that I do is property and casualty insurance, which is automobile, homeowners, small business, large businesses, all those kind of things. So if you think of common sense ways of being safer at what you do with your business, that's going to keep your costs down, your insurance costs down. It's going to keep your risk down of having a loss. And by doing that, that makes it cheaper for you over time, specifically. So let's go for some basic risks. Okay. So on insurance, the basic risk that people get insurance for, property and casualty insurance for, is property, which is your property or their property, meaning the property you own, if it gets damaged or stolen or whatever, You want to be protected. You want to have coverage for that. The property they own, if it gets damaged by you or by someone that, you caused the damage, that's liability protection that covers their property. Injury, if you get injured, that's not covered under your own policy. You can't injure yourself and be covered unless you have health insurance, then that would cover your injuries. But typically the injury liability coverage would be for them. So if you cause their injuries or somebody's injuries, that would be liability. In other words, you may be held responsible for that. And those are the two main coverages on insurance. If you own a business, as everybody here basically owns a business, then you may be held liable for employees. If you have employees, if they injure somebody, then you may be held liable, or something to do with your business may have caused an injury down the road for somebody, or damage something of theirs. They may come back to your business and hold your business liable. The key thing with that is that you may not be liable. There may be an instance where really you have nothing to do with it. However, you may have sold them the item, or you may have participated somehow in what caused their injury. And so even though you may not be liable, you may get sued. And the biggest cost a lot of times in the insurance industry is the defense cost, the cost to represent you, to keep you from being held liable. Because if you just ignore it, it won't go away. Typically, if you don't go to court because you're on a lawsuit and you don't go to court to defend it, then they just find you guilty because you never showed up. So you have to defend yourself. That's the other big part of an insurance policy is the defense cost. It protects you as best as possible when you're sued. The one thing that we always tell people on an insurance policy is there's no, and Jake, you would know this, there's no stupidity clause in a policy. Okay? So if you think about that, so many times, just like driving an automobile, how many accidents are based on stupidity? Just based on, you're like, how in the world did they do this? How did this happen? Same thing can happen in your business. An employee could do something, you might do something one day when you're half asleep, and you're like, how did I do this? And it causes damage, it causes injury. There's no stupidity clause. So because you did something that was absolutely ridiculous, or somebody did something ridiculous, it doesn't keep the policy from covering you. It doesn't exclude it. So you never have to worry about that. So let's look at some risks, okay? I'm trying to take a kind of a group, a little mix of the group, of right in the group. So we have computer people, we have social media, Candido financial advisors, bookkeeping, Maggie, physical therapy, Michelle, nutrition, all these kind of things. If you think about, okay, well, I do something, I know exactly what I'm doing. There's really no risk in my industry. Think kind of outside the box. People are creative today in what happens to them, and nobody wants to take responsibility. So it's always somebody else's fault. So, Michelle, you may have somebody doing certain things that is normally fine for anybody, but they may do it a little bit wrong, or they may do too many, or push themselves too hard and causing a different kind of injury. And then they turn around and say it's your fault that it happened. You never know. It could be anything. Sue, look at, the nails, right? I don't know what kind of risk there could be with that. You think it's something very simple and everything, but who knows? They might get a bad infection in their finger, and they say, well, I remember putting the Color Street nail stuff on, and the week later I had this infection. Well, they forget the part that, they stuck their finger in something, and, that was, full of rust or whatever, and they got a bad infection because of it. They think, oh, it's because of this Color Street nail stuff I put on. Let me sue. These things happen all the time out there. It's not just the trip and fall where somebody's walking past and your sidewalk is a little high and they trip on it and they fall down, or they slip in the supermarket because somebody dropped a banana peel or spilled some water. And even though, you block it off with shopping carts and tape and whatever, and don't go here, people still go there anyway. They're like, well, why can't I go here? And they'll go there, they'll fall, and they sue. There is times where we've paid claim for someone who fell through a skylight when they were trying to rob a house. They were trying to burglarize a house. They climbed up on the roof, they fell through the skylight and got injured, and the insurance company paid out a claim to them for their injuries, even though they were illegally there or they were not invited, but the insurance company paid out. So it happens, and you always want to make sure you have the right protection when that comes about. And you're as good as you may be in your industry, you never know. Sometimes it has absolutely nothing to do with you. It's just timing. It just might be, somebody needs something, somebody's hurting, they need money from somewhere, and they came up with an idea and say, hey, I could get it from here, because insurance companies, they like to pay no matter what. But if you don't have the proper coverage, then you're kind of screwed, because even to defend yourself is going to cost yourself a lot of money. And you got to make sure that you have something there to protect that. A lot of us work from home. Homeowners policies are limited and very limited in what they protect you on if you're running a business out of your house. So check your policies, check with your agent. I can always take a look at your policies if you need to see.
2 minutes.
Thank you. If there's anything that, that you should do or you shouldn't do. Jake still, even though that's not his thing anymore, he still knows a lot about everything. So he's another guy that you could always ask a question of. Let's see. Now, there's professional liability policies, if anybody's heard of. Rochelle, like in the medical field, particularly malpractice, they call it, because I guess in the medical field, they're always practicing. They never really get it right. So they've got to make sure they're, and it's typically malpractice. Medical malpractice is typically having to do with the human body. But errors and omissions coverage or professional liability, errors and omissions typically for attorneys, accountants, realtors, insurance, tech people, computer, all that kind of stuff. And then regular malpractice, attorneys and medical. So there's a different variations of it. It's all kind of the same thing. It's all professional liability. It has to do specifically with your industry and if you make errors in your industry. So, it's not trip and fall. It's not, those kind of things. It's if you specifically do something wrong that you're supposed to be the expert at, that can happen also anytime. Even though it may seem like you're doing the right thing, maybe another person in the industry thinks it's wrong. And if somebody is injured because of it, they may try to sue you because they think that you did the wrong thing. Again,
like if they think you didn't give them enough insurance coverage and they get in an accident and then they say, hey, you were supposed to give me more coverage. And then you said, I did tell you to do that. And you said no.
No. So make sure you have everybody sign off on everything. If somebody does something that you don't agree with, that you tell them is something, to do something and they don't do that, or they're doing it wrong, make sure they sign off on that saying they understand that they're doing it wrong or they're not following your direction. That's the only way to give yourself a little extra protection. That's pretty much it, I guess. I'll just kind of leave it there since we're just about out of time. Anybody has any questions or anything, just give a shout out or raise your hand.
Dawn, I'm sorry.
Who'd you call it?
Everyone put their hand up. I just
Go ahead, Desiree.
Okay, I just have a quick question about the home, people working from home.
Mhm.
What type of coverage do you need for that? Like for me, I don't have any clients that come to my home. It's literally me sitting in an office on a computer. So what type of coverage would I need?
All right, so you're an easier one to do. Probably most homeowner policies, you can add an endorsement that covers any business property and things like that. You do have a little bit of coverage in the policy normally. But if you have clients, that's a big difference. If you have clients come to the house and if you don't have clients come to the house, excuse me, but your homeowner policy will probably cover you enough, but there may be, depending on your equipment there and depending on what you do outside of the home, if you want to, there might be a coverage you can add as an endorsement on the policy that'll cover some of your duties or some of what you do.
Okay,
But do you have separate business insurance already?
I do. Yes.
Okay. So then you should be fine normally. Still a good idea just to look at your policy, see what you do have on the policy, and if there's anything else that you might need. So,
Okay, thank you.
Paul?
So, when you start out, one of the phrases that you used was think out of the box because people can come at you for anything, right? It reminds me, a couple months ago, I don't know if people heard about this, Geico was ordered to pay $5.2 million to somebody who was in a car, parked with the owner, and contracted an STD. And they went against the auto insurance because that's where she got the STD. And they said, well, no, that's ridiculous. Well, they were found out because it wasn't specifically excluded based on the type of policy she had. They ordered $5.2 million for that on an auto insurance.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
I heard that. Yeah.
Something to know also in New Jersey particularly, New Jersey is what's called a no-fault state, and that means that your insurance, your medical portion of your automobile insurance follows you wherever you're at. So if you're for any auto-related injury, so if you're a passenger in somebody's car, your medical coverage should be covering you. If you're and you're hurt for any reason, if you get out and they close the door on your hand, that's medical coverage under your insurance. Your auto insurance should pay that medical bill. If you get hit by a car, your medical or your PIP coverage on your automobile insurance will cover your injuries for being hit by the car. So that follows you wherever you're at. So, if you're involved, you're a driver, you're in somebody else's car and you're driving down the road and there's an accident and you guys are all injured, your policy itself is going to cover your injuries. If there's anything additional, whatever, they might go after the other guy for liability, whatever the case may be. But that's why it's called no fault, so that you don't have to wait to get your medical coverage to find somebody liable. That's the whole point of no fault insurance. But it follows you anywhere, and it's any auto-related injury. So like I said, you could be sitting on the car talking, fall off the car. The car might not be moving, might not even be your car, it could be anyone else's car. You're just sitting there chatting with somebody while you're drinking or whatever, and fall off the car, break your arm. That's covered under auto insurance.
Does everyone have that part in their auto insurance or no? Or is that an option?
In New Jersey, in no fault, that's the law. So anybody who has no fault a policy is going to be covered there. If you're not covered, you don't have your own policy, but you're under your parents' policy or you're under somebody else's policy listed as a driver, or even if you're not, if the closest relative, if the house that you live in, somebody has automobile coverage and they're related or somehow close to you, their policy may end up having to pay. So it can it's going to find somewhere to cover you. Although ultimately it could go to the person that if you're in an accident in somebody else's car, it could go to their policy if you don't have it anywhere to get. But first they'll go to your policy. If you don't have one, they'll go to your family, whatever policy you're on, if you're on a policy, or close relatives, and then they may go there. So they'll find somewhere to cover it. But medical is different than liability and property damage and all that kind of stuff.
Don?
Oh, good to know.
Don, you mentioned a defense clause, which would come into play if you're being sued for legal costs. Is it safe to assume that policies typically do not cover if you have a lawyer on retainer or you've got Legal Shield, Jake? Is it fair to assume that policies will not cover those premiums?
Cover the Legal Shield premium,
Yeah.
I mean? No, not typically.
Okay.
But if you have something like Legal Shield, and Jake, you might know better than this. Normally, you're going to you want to make sure that both your Legal Shield, you can get advice from your Legal Shield people, but make sure that they're either working with the insurance company attorney or, they know about it. That way there's, there can be coordination or whatever. You don't want anybody throwing a wrench into any kind of, any issues with a claim. So, but your insurance company is going to be primary. They're going to protect. And the one thing to know is that even the insurance company will represent you, but the insurance company is really representing themselves. So a Legal Shield attorney that's strictly for you is also going to give you, I don't want to necessarily say better advice, but they're going to be giving you advice strictly for your benefit, not necessarily to benefit the insurance company. The problem that a lot of us have with insurance companies is that, like I say, they're in it for them. So they're going to, they may settle for a case that really shouldn't be settled because you did absolutely nothing wrong, but it's cheaper for them to settle than it is to fight it. So a lot of times they'll do that to avoid the extra cost of fighting it or possibly losing. Where you may have if you have your personal attorney that you've gotten through Legal Shield or anywhere else, they may advise you differently. So, make sure that you have, it's best to probably have them working side by side or or at least in touch with each other so that everybody's on the same page and there's no confusion. Jake, you agree with that?
All right. And so I'm going to just kind of pause this conversation. It's a great conversation. If you want more information, set up a one-to-one with Don, with Jake, get together and find out what all your options are. Okay. So thank you very much, Don.
Thanks.
All right. So next we will move into the 45 seconds for everybody that's here. And since Don gave his 10-minute presentation, good morning, everybody. Paul Taubman from Digital Maestro, where we harmonize your online strategy. We help folks with their websites get the visibility that they need and deserve. In the past, I talked about all the different reasons or many different reasons why somebody would want to have a website, right? And today, what I just want to kind of talk about quickly is the phrase, a destination for validation. So when you meet somebody and they go home and they do their research, they're going to look you up on the web. They're going to go to Google and see what information that they can have, that they can find about you. So having your own website gives you the opportunity to present it exactly the way that you want it to. So Paul Taubman from Digital Maestro, where we harmonize your online strategy. Next up is Desiree.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Desiree from Clarence Services, and we are a digital marketing agency in New Jersey, and we help our clients with anything related to digital marketing. We teach them they don't have to boil the ocean to have an effective growth plan for their business. And these days, we're helping our clients with email marketing, social media maintenance. We create videos for our clients. We do blogs. We also do chief or fractional CMO services for those who don't have the budget for a full-time marketing leader on their team. And you can get more information at clarenceservices.com. And on deck is Jake.
Good morning, everyone. Jake Miola, Jake of all trades. I'm a serial entrepreneur with many businesses, but today I'm going to be focusing on my online secondhand bookstore, which is royalreadersbookstore.com. I'm just happy to announce that we have just introduced a rewards program. So now you can earn points called Crown Cash anytime you make a purchase on the store, anytime you share our website on social media, when you refer a friend, and a myriad of other ways. You can also now create a wish list. So if you don't have the time to buy it now, but you want it in the future, you can save it to your list. And you can also review books and see what others have thought of the books that you're looking at. So if you'd like to support the bookstore, you can either donate books or you can go to the website and purchase some at royalreadersbookstore.com. On deck is Relax Social.
Managing your own social media accounts can be a total pain. It's time-consuming, distracting, and if you're not really good at it, it could ruin your reputation. Relax Social Media takes the stress off your shoulders and lets you focus on what your business does best. We ease your workload by providing high-quality social media management services at an affordable price. Our all-in-one proprietary software streamlines and automates your process. We help you reach your audience with strategies that work to make sure your posts are receiving the engagement they deserve. And you can get all of this in our Platform Plus package, starting at just $99 a month without any contracts. So relax. Stop doing things manually. Start today.
All right, next up, Danelle.
Good morning. I'm Danelle Bangle from Upbeat Dance and Fitness, which is a fun, supportive, primarily online fitness community. We work with busy, real people who are just sick of stupid diets, not comfortable with gym culture, people who are just juggling lots of priorities and can't always get to a gym. After 30 years in the fitness industry, we know what works and we can help in 3 ways. 1 is personal training, 2, group classes, 3, an accountability program that includes stress management, nutrition support. We spent the last week talking about sleep. Apparently lots of people have trouble with sleep. So if you know someone who could benefit from those services, please send them my way. And next up is George.
Good morning. Caring Transitions, we come into play if you are moving, selling your house. What we do, Caring Transitions does is we first of all handle senior relocations. That's one of the services that we provide. Then as far as the contents of your house, we provide you with appraisals. We run estate sales, online auctions, or consignment sales for you. And then finally, anything that's not sold, donated, or taken by family members or friends, we do a final clean out of the house so that it's empty and can be put on the market by your realtor. So George at Caring Transitions, and next up is Rochelle.
Did we lose her? Well, she did say she had to leave early today.
She said she had to leave early.
Next is Tracy is out today. Lance is out. Jessica, she emailed us, said that she had another engagement. Maggie.
Maggie, hi, good morning, everyone. Maggie Morris with Prim Bookkeeping. I offer bookkeeping services to small businesses. So anywhere from invoicing to day-to-day activities, contractor management, sales tax management, basically anything up until you need to file your taxes, I could do. I meet monthly with my clients or bi-weekly. I go over reporting. We come up with plans. So if you know anyone who got probably too busy to do their own bookkeeping, or they want to focus on what they do best, or they fell behind, they need a cleanup, please send them my way. And next up is Candido.
Good morning, everybody. Glad to see you. Glad to see you all. My name is Candido. I'm a financial advisor, and what I do is helping people, business owners, bring the dreams and goals to life by helping them develop a financial plan which align those goals with those aspirations. But we all done some level of planning, whether it's credit cards, mortgages, and savings. But what we do is we bring it all together and we make sure that those fits and they're gonna take us where we want to be. Our unique approach, and I will develop the steps necessary that will take you further than you've ever been before. And anywhere that from financial security, education planning, retirement, life insurance, we try to help you live today while planning for the future. Next on deck, Lee.
Morning, everyone. I'm Wendy Koshnicki. I'm an independent consultant with Pampered Chef. I am your go-to kitchen guru for all of your cooking challenges, whether you need some mealtime inspiration, looking for some new recipes, if you need some new products for your kitchen, anything from gadgets to cookware, or if you are interested in having a fun time with your friends, I do in-home cooking parties, online parties, a few different formats there. And we have some brand new consultant kits. So if you or someone you know is interested in some extra income or in just doing something super fun with flexible hours, please send them my way. Wendy Kushnicki, independent consultant with Pampered Chef, and Tim is on deck.
Right. Excuse me, Tim's not here yet, maybe? Sue.
Good morning, everyone. Sue Bannon, stylist with Color Street. Color Street are 100% dry nail polish strips as of now. They are morphing into becoming a beauty brand. We are going to start with lipstick, which is going to come up in the next couple of weeks, in addition to the hand care line that we already came up with. So it should be interesting. They want to keep current, so we're moving ahead with other items. Also, we have a wonderful join special at this time in the month, and next month we are offering a host to join. Instead of your host rewards giving you nail strips, you can use your rewards towards buying a join stylist kit. So if anybody wants a little extra money, just let me know. Next up is Richard.
And Rich is out this morning. So Relax Benefits. Candido, would you like to chat about that for a moment?
Of course. Thank you, Paul. So Relax Benefits, it offers customized employee benefit solutions, which not only help you and your business, but online by keeping more money or more of what you make, but it also helps you take advantage of tax deductions and credits, while helping you nurture employee and loyalty retention. Relax Benefits is the right platform for companies that want to foster employee engagement, loyalty, satisfaction, but also looking forward to increase productivity while lowering expenses.
Okay. Thank you very much. And that's everybody. Did we miss anybody? I think we got everybody. Okay, no visitors. All right, so the speaker lineup for next week. Jake will be speaking on the 17th. 24th, Jessica, we'll let her know about that. And then the 31st right now is open, so we'll start to refill everybody back in to get the ball going again. So, Jake, you're good for next week?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much. Okay. So after the speaker rotation, next slide, please.
Paul, end of live stream.
Oh, thank you very much, everybody. Thanks for coming. See you next week, every Wednesday morning at 8.